Good morning, everybody. The vocabulary word of the day today is routine, Routine. And the reason I bring it up, you've heard people in your class, whether you're kindergarten all the way up through possibly 12th grade, or some of my older students that I teach at the museum level where they want to take refresher courses. And let's say it's called for instance, portraits from photographs, something like that, where we use that and then we say, wait a minute, okay, I just did this beautiful portrait of Aunt Tilly, but that wasn't that creative. It was just kind of a recreation of the photograph. I put myself into it though and took the time so I could give it to Aunt Tilly's cousin, at Christmas. Okay, then you say, wait a minute, that was just the first 2-3 classes, and I have a 6-week course period, and I really want to express myself creatively, but I don't want to just fluff it off and use the excuse that, I saw an art mark by Twombly in the Museum of Modern Art, and he got like hundreds of thousands for it. Twombly, Motherwell, this kind of thing where they just put in a mark and say, you get it? That's art. That's art. Yes, it is, because you can't argue with me because the law says, the Constitution says you have to be politically correct, this kind of thing. The point being, yes, you have to use your insane imagination, but you have to align it with creativity and a sense of aesthetics, which is the second vocabulary word, Aesth. Aesthetic, sound it out, Aesthet, aesthetics, Aesthetics, aesthetics. The study, the science of what we consider to be beauty, because it's subjective, third vocabulary word, Subjective, subjective. Always sound out your words and visualize them, because when you sound them out, isn't that funny? When you sound out a word, you visualize it. Isn't that funny? Sound and vision. Well, we're doing music and art. Sound, vision. Okay, but I digress, because the original intention was the word routine. And in my routine, and your routine might be to get up and do incredible workouts to body sculpt. And then the thing is, if you body sculpt and no one ever sees your body, then it's probably unfulfilling. The best way to work with regards to physical regimen is to involve yourself with, let's say you do martial arts. And you're a child, and daddy brought you to karate class when you were a kid, and they gave you your first yellow belt because you split the board with your foot under the instruction of Mr. Kim, whatever it is. And Taekwondo, that's your Korean style. You got Japanese, you got Chinese. Chinese is Wing Chun, and it became extremely popular with Bruce Lee. Because he believed in the importance of, he saw what was going on in our country, in the United States of America. And he was American. People don't know that. I mean, he was half. The point is, everybody says, "Oh, you're not one of our tribe," to everybody else, and everybody's pointing a finger, saying, "We're the ones running things." No, we are. Okay, we could go to the food store. No, you can't. You're not allowed. Go over there. This kind of thing, because humanity. Basically what it is, it gets too crowded. There's too many people and not enough life to support humanity, and after a while people start fighting over stupid things that are no longer stupid, like water. Okay, which brings us to the importance of the study of desalination. I used to call it desalinization. It seems like it makes more sense. I'm not sure which is the correct terminology. Look it up. It has to do with the process of distilling seawater so that it's drinkable. And right now, it's to an extent, it's more expensive to do that. It takes more water to do that. In terms of the energy, the people, the money, whatever, never mind the word money. It takes a lot of energy, more water to distill the water. If you take it all out, we understand things in terms of money in our culture and society too much. Possibly. I can't tell you that that's definite, because I can't get up here and tell you something like that without verification. They stop you. You're stopped by people that are running the financial centers by if you say something like, and they're making a lot of money off of nothing, such as let's talk about derivatives and argue on Wall Street and make billions of dollars off. Really, what it is unfair interest rates. And people who do not contribute to our world and our culture are getting rich off of unfair interest rates while people are enslaved to pay them from birth to death. And then cancer and hospitals are glorified and the funeral expenses and everything. And, oh, well, at least I get to have one final party. Ha, ha, ha. They make a joke out of hardworking people's lives. And that really should stop. I digress again. That's our fourth vocabulary word, digress, digress. What we're talking about is routine. My routine is art. Okay, we've said enough about that. I go on the subway to and back from destinations that I need to. My lady friend in the Bronx, for instance, it's back and forth from Brooklyn to the Bronx. And that's a great way. Some people are just like this on their phone the whole way, and it's barely survivable because it's like, oh my God, like you can almost hear people's thoughts. You can not even, it's not about, it's kind of like, well, you can predict or you can perceive that people must be very upset in their lives and not feeling good because they feel like the only hope and, let me just look, if I can't actually be a scientist, for a computer scientist, let me look like I am one. Okay, well, I say if I can't be an artist because I'm not selling enough paintings to say I'm an artist, I can at least prove that I'm trying to be. Okay, so the final digression is that we are doing art plus math plus music equals success. The reason we're doing that is, okay, so we have, follow along, it doesn't matter what you have. I'm going to start using my Crayola 99-cent store markers. The next video, I get caught up in these really that you pay a lot more, and there's a reason for it I discovered, which is that at my stage in life, I'm less philosophical about, let's use 99-cent store markers. They're not as good, but I can prove that I can do, and I will in upcoming videos. But the problem comes where if you're on the subway, for instance, where I just said I do a lot of my work now, just the way it is in New York City. If you're using cheap, inexpensive, people will, the first thing they think, first of all, you're already doing something that's, if it's different, you're going to get attention. You don't want negative attention, especially nowadays, because I don't care. It may be other people. It may be people running the subway who just feel there's just all kinds of just negative stuff floating around, which can result in someone getting in trouble in this day and age for something that's it's like the person might be a good person, but that they just others feel threatened. So if you use an expensive pen like this, it really does. I mean, it's $5 a pen after tax, roughly, at Arts and Craftsman Supply in Brooklyn, which there's one in Queens, I believe, and one I think in Bushwick. In fact, there is one in Bushwick. I verify that, but there are three that I know of, and these are great. I haven't been able to find them anywhere else, and I like to go to the art supply store and actually pick things out. I don't like to just order. I like to live my life. I don't like to order my groceries. I like to go to the grocery store. I like to, the point is art plus math plus music equals success. And the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to assign the pre-calculus classes to do the following, which is 12 to the only reason I'm using 12 to the third as an example is that in your head, you need to either, be able to do math, look, on the spur of the moment, the simple stuff really quickly. Some of it you just, I know it's that, and I got to go on to that, which I have to do a little thinking. which then you do enough thinking, you have to start calling it calculating. Then when you have to do enough calculating that you have to use a calculator, you're able to do the simple stuff. You don't even do it. You just know what it is. So know, memorize, learn the process, however you want to do it, all the way up to 36 cube in your heads today. And then we're going to have an oral exam, which this coming Friday, which is going to be, you're going to get up in front of the class and I'm going to ask you cubes. And it'll be anything from 10 cubed all the way up to 36 cubed. And it probably won't be 10 cubed. Okay, so after we do that, the following Friday, we're going to do up to 99 cubed. The list goes on. Then eventually we're going to get involved with, well, let's do step-by-step problems and get more complicated, combining algebra and geometry and trigonometry and plugging in the quadratic equation. But I once again digress. 12 cubed is 144 times 12. 144 times 12 is 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 1 is 2, 288, line them up under the 1, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1. Lined up correctly, if you add them up. If you don't line them up correctly, you miss the problem. And that's the basics of calculus, because if you don't do things correctly in one step and then you have 36 steps that depend on the correctness of that one first step, you miss 36 problems, basically, because let's say you have a pre-calculus exam with 4 problems, and each problem has 30 steps. Really what you have is 4 times 3, 120 problems on that test. And not only that, but you can't just miss one and then the other ones are right, because each one depends on the previous step. It gets really difficult. So not difficult, but you can't make a mistake. So anything worth doing in life and doing right, you can't say it's easy, because then somebody else might. Because of the obstacles we have in life, you have to just be happy, which leads me to our lead out song. And the answer to our problem is 1,728 for 12 cubed. Check me on your calculators. Learn your scales. So we're in a regular tuning, and we're going to lead out with an E major scale. The template's different on the 5th fret for the E major scale, starting with the A string barred on the 5th fret. That was a D major scale, my fault. Okay, so E major scale is... up here. You see how it sounds analogous to this chord? Harmonics on the 12th fret, harmonics on the 7th fret. The harmonics divide the string's length so that the higher, it's the same, it's the analogous but higher frequency, divides and speeds up the frequency of the sound waves by 2 when you divide a harmonic, a string into its harmonic on the guitar. On the 12th fret, so then you have... See how it sounds the same? Okay. That's our art plus math plus music equals engineering lesson plan of the day. Notebooks are due at the end of the month, which, when I say the end of the month, I mean the end of May. Everybody have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the Tuesday, April 29th, 2025.